Fact: money is in infinite flow, and you don't need to worry about it. Today, I'm going to tell you why you don't need to worry about money, how you instead need to just worry about finding your purpose and doing what you find fulfilling in this world, and pursuing that with absolutely everything you've got. I'm going to tell you a story about how I saw this materialize in front of my very own eyes in Bali about a month ago. And lastly, I'm going to link it to how I was able to manifest $200,000 in the past 7 months or so using this exact principle, being detached from the outcome of money. So I'm going to hit you with a few quotes, just like the last video. This video is going to take a bit of a less serious tone than the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, it's about why breath is the foundation of creating the reality that you desire. And though it's got a bit more of a serious tone, there's a lot of very interesting content in there, so I highly recommend that you check that out. That'll be on my channel. But this video, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Hit you with some quotes, hit you with some personal experiences, and wrap it up. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says that you have the right to work, but never to the fruit of work. Perform your duty without attachment and remain steadfast in yoga. Yoga in this case just being action in the world. In the Ashtavakra Gita, it states that the wise one, knowing that the world is unreal, acts without desire and thus attains fulfillment. Again, acting without desire for some specific outcome, for like some intentional manifestation. No, you do the work and let the outcome, let the money, let the result, let the connections, let the relationships flow as they need to flow. And ultimately that will bring you the most fulfillment. In the Yoga Sutras it says, when you're inspired by some great purpose, all your thoughts break their bonds. If you see true visionaries, the likes of Musk, the likes of Steve Jobs, they always make the claim that it was their purpose above all else that drove everything, every single action, every single moment of behavior in their lives. It's often said that if you take care of your purpose, then your purpose will take care of you. And that's a beautiful mantra to live by. Neville Goddard said that assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, observe the route that your attention follows. When you embody the feeling of abundance from your dream life, and where your attention goes in that specific emotional state is a place where you'll attract opportunities that will lead to your desired outcome. Detach from how you think you'll get there. Again, there's a common theme about detachment. Understand that you will get there, and it is not your responsibility. It is, you can call it the subconscious, you can call it the infinite, you can call it cosmic consciousness, you can call it God. You leave the responsibility with that power in the ways and the means of getting your desired outcome. In the Bible it says in the book of Luke, give and it will be given to you. A good measure, passed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. Meaning give selflessly. Abundance flows where you endlessly contribute value to others. Tony Robbins echoed a very, very similar quote in one of his seminars, where he said that the secret to wealth is simple. Find a way to do more for others than anyone else does. Become more valuable. Do more. Give more. Be more. Serve more. They say to be selfless, but I'm going to decode that for you in a way that will actually help you get rich. Being your most authentic self is serving people in the most selfless way. It's a little bit backwards than what we're often taught as kids, what we're often taught in school, where you have to give until there's nothing left of yourself. No. The more selfish you are with yourself, with your time, with your energy, with your resources, the more you focus on building a life that is the most fulfilling to you, the service that you give to people on that journey is your most selfless service. I'm going to repeat that again. The actions, behaviors, and interactions that you have amongst people on your journey of becoming your most fulfilled and realized self is the ultimate service that you can do for those people, because the right people will get just the right amount of value from those interactions on your journey. Musk says, when something is important enough, you do it when the odds aren't in your favor. In other words, letting go of the probability of you succeeding, letting go of the probability that people like what you're doing, that people click with what you're doing, that people will stop taking you seriously, and doing it anyway. That's what it means to act in detachment. And finally, one of my personal heroes, Steve Jobs, there's this exceptional quote that he has, and that's the last quote I'm going to leave you with today before I get into my own personal experiences. Steve Jobs said, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. You make it rain when you align your skills with your passion." Now, skills and passion. That's it. That you just have to make that link. What are your skills? You already have everything that you need in terms of your skills, and you just align it with your passion. If you sit and you think, and you meditate ideally, I promise you it will come to you like this. It may take 1, 2, 3, or 4 meditations, but when it hits you, it will hit you like a ton of bricks, exactly how you make that link. And I promise you, for 99.9% of you watching this video, it is not a job. I'm going to say that again, it is not a job. What will fulfill you the most in this life, and what will sustain you and actually get you the wealthiest that you could ever imagine yourself to be, is not a job. Because jobs are not set up for you to attain your highest fulfillment from them. All of you, almost all of you, who have attended any kind of full-time work will know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need to go into the specifics. Now, going to that story from Bali, I went to a very famous temple. It was called Tir Temple, and it was a World Heritage Site. It's a ancient temple to the Vedic god Indra. And you go into the temple grounds, you pray, and you light some sages, use some sandalwood, and you make some offerings in terms of flowers and fruits and whatnot to the residing deity of the temple, Indra. And then you go into a series of pools, and those pools have water outlets flowing into them, and you cleanse your body through those water outlets. And it was such a beautiful experience. If I'm able to, I'll attach some pictures in this video. It was gorgeous. But the guides there I found so fascinating, because for anyone that's been to Bali, you would understand that the local currency is really not that valuable. And so they also have a great degree of taxes associated with imports into their country. So when I saw these guides walking around with, this is a month ago, like brand new iPhone 15, 16 Pro Maxes and S24 Ultras from Samsung, I'm like, how on earth did you guys afford these? Did you pool your money together? Like, is this on debt? Is this taken on some kind of phone plan where it's like not fully yours until you pay it all off? I didn't understand. And then it hit me. They were simply putting their buckets into the stream of wealth flowing through that temple. Where did that wealth come from? It came from the desires of the tourists in that area to know what they were doing, to behave respectfully in that temple, and to act in accordance with respectful practice in that temple and praying accordingly, to take photos and videos of their occasion and of their visit at the temple. That was it. Per person, they may have charged the equivalent of, anywhere from 10 to 20 USD, but in that you got, half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe stretching an hour, hour and a half if the lines are really long, of their complete service, of them telling you exactly what to do, exactly how to pray, exactly what positions to hold, and where to go, what water outlets to wash yourself in and what water outlets to avoid. And they take your clothes for you. They make it as seamless as possible for you. And they take gorgeous pictures because they've got, the latest hardware to do so with their phones, of your experience. Do you see how they've created value out of seemingly nothing? Like, people are just going to a temple. They're just going to worship or pay their respects or, kind of feel the vibrational alignment or the energy of that place. And, if you look up something like a World Heritage Site and you see a temple as gorgeous as their temple, you would probably want to experience it for yourself, right? So they didn't do anything special. All they did was tap into the stream of wealth that happened to be flowing through their temple. And likewise, from my own experiences, I loved blockchain. I loved Web3. I loved the concepts of decentralized finance for such a long time. And I always believed, probably since I was 9 years old, and I asked my dad to buy Bitcoin, back in, 2010, 2011, and him thinking it was a scam back then when it was like cents on the dollar. Ever since then, I was so obsessed with the future of currency being that which is more free and more decentralized. And so naturally, my path in life aligned in such a way that those sort of ways that I could create value and sustain value for myself and for others rested in that industry and rested into that stream of wealth. So I built some apps on the blockchain. I made a couple smart contracts, made a couple $1,000s with some NFTs, with some trading like meme coins, altcoins, the whole like. And then before I knew it, I bumped into a mentor that put me on the board of a hedge fund in the city that I'm from. And this hedge fund was the first of its kind in Australia because it only focused on three things: Bitcoin, gold, and silver. And if any of you have any degree of financial or economic savviness, you would understand that these three assets are effectively giving the middle finger to the fiat currency system. As governments continually print money or central banks continually print money and debase their currencies, inflation is a natural result. And what this fund was seeking to do was provide a hedge against that type of debasement. That's all it was. And out of nowhere, I suddenly became the chief and primary quantitative researcher to assess trading strategies and asset allocation and timings of entries and exits for those positions out of nowhere. If you are truly passionate and you build in the shadows and you understand that this is coming from a place of loving what you're doing, the universe will always align the right people, the right networks, the right connections, and the right opportunities so that you are rewarded with money. And so that was the crux of this video. Since then, I've made an online trading community where I share everything that I realized in industry and from other very, very big and successful traders within the industry. I share a machine learning program that I took from open source and helped made even better to effectively provide guardrails or, those things that you put in the bowling alley for kids so that you don't necessarily miss the pins. Like stopgaps for your trades. And I'm developing a community there that I am just thrilled to provide value for no matter what. I've found ways to give them unlimited premium AI. I've found ways to give them unlimited free data for any crypto that they could, any listed crypto that they could possibly imagine. And I provide trading strategies based on macroeconomics, technicals and data and statistical frameworks to help ensure that they can help make their own mental models and their own mental systems and even create their own algorithms with Python. And obviously I was rewarded with even more wealth. It's a high ticket community. I only want you in there if you're genuinely interested in being educated and being the best trader that you possibly can. But all of this to say that the money came, I just had to follow my passion. And now I'm in a treehouse in the jungle in Panama, and I'm having the best time of my life since I left home. And so that's what I want for you. If you're interested in joining my community, there'll be an email in the description box that you can email, and we can get to talking and see if that you're a good fit. And beyond that, I wish you the most beautiful day and a daily reminder that whatever you want wants you even more. Take care.